Wandering Winder back with some more Dominion homework. This time we're going to talk about Citygate, and again, I'm going to focus on openings, but I am going to talk a little bit about what Citygate can do for you more broadly speaking. I've seeded this with Merchant Ship again as it's a 5 cost card because 5 costs are important, and it's a 5 cost card that kind of helps you. And especially in money decks, I guess it's a little bit comparatively better, but it's not like a good card at all. Actually, Mountebank here is maybe more relevant, but I'm playing one player, so not. So first I want to talk about the Silver Citygate Open. And so what you'll notice here is after I open Silver Citygate, I have an 11 card deck. I have these 6 cards and then 5 more. And I can get basically what I want out of my 11 cards. I'm going to see all 11 cards over the course of 2 turns, and I'm going to get to choose which one of them I want to miss a shuffle, which will usually be an estate, but if for whatever reason I don't need all my money, then maybe it's not an estate. In terms of the price points that I can hit, well, uh, I can hit 5-4 in every situation, or 4-5 in every situation except for if the top 6 cards in my deck are exactly 3 estates and 3 coppers. If that's the case, then I can't because obviously I don't have 4 in that hand. Any other time besides that, then I can keep 4 money or 5 money in my turn 3 hand, and then keep the other amount, whichever of those that I didn't keep on turn 3, I can keep on turn 4. So you're quite likely to hit 5-4 if that's something you want to do. If you want to hit 6-3, you're also extremely likely to be able to do that. The only way that you won't be able to is if you hit exactly 6 coppers as your 6 cards on turn 3, or 5 coppers in an estate. In those cases, 6 coppers is 6 money, but you have to stick 1 back, so you're going to make 5 for sure. 5 coppers in an estate, you can either stick a copper back or an estate back, but you're going to have 5-4 or 4-5 either way. Any other case, you can stick back enough money such that you either have 3 or 6 on turn 3, and then you can have the other amount on turn 4. So here, let's say I want to hit 6, buy a 6, and then I want 3 because I'm playing just money right now. And I'm literally, for the first demonstration, it's going to be just, straight up big money, no kingdom cards. But the Citygate, here we hit 5. 5, the 5th thing doesn't do anything for us. The 4th thing also doesn't do anything for us. So this is pretty typical for what we'd see in this kind of situation. Here, I'm not sure what's best actually, whether I should stick the gold back and buy nothing or stick the copper back and buy a silver. I think it's stick the copper back and buy a silver. Here we stick the silver back because I still want to get more golds. And now I can start looking at greening. And okay, I don't think I want to green too much yet, so I'm going to stick the silver back. Get up gold. Here I'm okay provincing again. You don't usually want to make too much expensive stuff miss the shuffle. And if I'm just trying to race to 4 provinces, now I'm really gunning for provinces, so I want to stick the most expensive thing back that doesn't inhibit me from hitting a province that I otherwise would have hit. So here, sticking the silver back makes me 8 again, and I get to 4 provinces on turn 14, and 5 provinces on turn 15. And as you saw, I think this is a pretty typical case actually of just, you drew whatever, but you get to smooth out your draws. It's similar to why Courtyard money is better than Smithy money. And we'll just finish up here. Obviously, again, like all these strategies, you adjust how much and how fast you're greening based on the situation in the game in front of you. And okay. Now next we're going to look at the same thing, but with, again, we're going to ignore some stuff here, but we're going to go with getting some fives. So stick the copper back because I don't have a use for 4. I'm going to get the merchant ship this time. So I'm going to stick the lamp back. I'm going to play merchant ship money. So my merchant ship missed here, so that's pretty unfortunate. But as you'll see, I'm just grabbing gobs and gobs of merchant ships. This is actually the worst luck out of all the testing games I've had on this. But you're fine grabbing. So one of the things, particularly if you don't have draw, about getting the city gate is that you can just grab gobs and gobs of extra terminals. Let's get a gold here though. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8. Let's stick the copper back. Buy a province. Yeah, this is pretty garbage. This is also pretty garbage. And okay, this was too many gobs of terminals, and this was particularly bad draws. So, well, take that for what it's worth. I can do math, great. But even so, let's take a gold here. Again, I could be tracking my deck better. Even so, like it's still quite reasonable speed that I'm getting here. But the point about City Gate for this kind of a deck is that you can get extra terminals. If you're not drawing, you can get extra terminals and have some protection against them colliding. Let's go in again. And let's skip the 5-2 because we're not going to be as concerned with that. Okay, 4-3 again. Let's do this merchant ship thing one more time. Because I only need 3 here, I can make the copper go instead of, okay, now I have to think. So there's going to be a merchant ship, 3 coppers. So I think I want to stick a copper back here and get another merchant ship because I want to make sure I hit at least 5 here. Yep, make the estate miss. Let's hit 6. Let's hit 6 again. Three provinces on 11. Four provinces on 13. 5 provinces on 14. So, you know, this was also not, this is more of a typical draw case, and you have 6 provinces on turn 15. Again, this is just merchant ship and money, so not anything super special. I mean, merchant ship is actually not that bad of a card for this strategy, but emptying the provinces and getting a duchy on turn 18 shows you some of the power of Citygate here. Now, the last thing I'd want to talk about, there's some other stuff with Citygate. It combos well with like Mystic and a few other things. And if you are drawing, then it's just a little bit of reliability, and it doesn't give you the smoothing effect, which is really more of a benefit for money. But you know, having the extra reliability of being able to look at 6 cards instead of 5 can be really nice. The Mountebank case that came up earlier would be you can. No, that doesn't make any sense. Well, it's if you have a curse in your hand, then you can punt it away to the next hand, and then you discard it when they play their Mountebank, right? Again, if you're not drawing. But let's talk about turn 1 Citygate, which I think really only makes sense if you have a 3-4. So just for a second, let's undo here. So if I get Citygate here, I know that there's 4 coppers and an estate in these 5 cards. On my next turn, I will trigger a shuffle on turn 2. Not at the end of turn 2, but at the start of turn 2. Um, and then there's a 60% chance, because I'm going to draw one of these 5 cards. There's a 60% chance, because there's 3 coppers, that I'm going to be able to get a 5 on turn 2. And then a 40% chance that I only hit 4. So if we open City Gate here, now, because we only hit 4, we can stick a copper back and get a silver. And we miss 5 again. This is the worst case luck. And we're still, for sure, now we know that these cards are 1 estate, a silver, and 3 copper. So I'm going to hit 5 next turn, and I can hit 6 next turn if I want to. And again, this was the worst case scenario. So now I can hit 5, and I have a 5 after turn 4 anyway. So I'm not really any behind. I could have a 6 here also, obviously. And, continue on per normal. Time for province, time for province. Whatever. But I also want to show, see if I can get a 3-4 again. Bear with me, folks. On 4-3, it doesn't really make sense to open City Gate, probably. You could just get whatever 4 or 3 you want and then get the City Gate on turn 2. One of these days, I'm going to hit 3-4 again. Okay, so City Gate. And here I hit my 60% chance. And here, there's even a 10% chance that's 1/6 of the 60% that I could play my 5er here on turn 3. Now that didn't happen. I know that these cards are all economic. They're 4 coppers and the merchant ship, so I can track that. Here I'd like another merchant ship, actually, more than the gold, so I can shift that down. And actually here, in order to best smooth my money, I should stick the merchant ship down. And let's say here I'm going to get even another merchant ship. Which is possibly too many. But, oh well. Get ourselves another gold. Slightly unfortunate not having more silver equivalents there. Now we're getting close enough to the provincing that I want to hold the better cards for later. Again, 4 on 13, 5 on 14, 6 on 15, 7 on 16, 8 provinces on turn 17. City Gate merchant ship money. So 3-4 is a little bit better. You often want to open City Gate because you just have that extra chance of getting your 5s early. That's assuming that you want 5s. If you want a 6, you should still open on 3-4. You should still open silver City Gate, I think, as that's just a little bit better. Certainly, you're not gonna. It's the point is that you need to be very cognizant of when you're shuffling all the time and what cards are left in your deck, what cards aren't. Anyway, all in all, I think City Gate is a little bit, well, it's relatively better when you're not drawing cards. Obviously, drawing cards is still usually so strong that that's something you're going to be wanting to do, but it's relatively better for decks that don't draw cards. It brings their power level up more than it brings the power level of the drawing decks up. But it's useful in both cases. It really smooths out your draws, especially early on, especially when you're in the money kind of paradigm, money density paradigm as I call it. And yeah, opening with it on turn one when you have a 3/4 can get you to your 5 very quickly a majority of the time, although not a super majority of the time. But generally, I think it's a little bit weaker than the other openings I've talked about recently: Pageant, Silk Merchant, um, Sinister Plot. Usually, I think those are a little bit better, but it depends obviously a little bit on what's going on. The threes, the fours, the fives, the sixes available, and what your game plan is going to be. But it's still a strong opener. Um, anyway, thanks for watching this video. And until next time, remember to do your homework.